My name is Mike Noland, and I am president of the Northern Indiana Commuter Transportation District, operated the South Shore Line. Today is an historic day for this railroad, 30 years in the making. When I was recruited for this job, about 6 years ago, actually today I started, I was handed a visionary 20-year strategic plan for major commuter rail investments with Westlake and Double Track as the centerpiece. The dream was connecting the Lake Corridor to Chicago, Gary, Chesterton, Michigan City, and South Bend International Airport, and cutting the trip time from here to Chicago in 45 minutes. I guarantee it, you cannot drive to Chicago in 45 minutes from where we are today. Because of the times we are living through, we are not able to have as many of our partners join us today in person. However, we've made all efforts to live stream the event for this momentous occasion. Indeed, if we had everyone here today in the same space, there would be too many people to name. But let me start by thanking Governor Holcomb so much for all you've done, as well as your predecessor, Governor Mike Pence, who's now our Vice President of the United States. Also, thank you to our entire congressional delegation, the entire FTA team, who've been our partners in the project, our General Assembly partners, past and current NICTD, RDA chairs and board members and staff, and of course, Dan Hughey and the IFA team. I also want to thank our NICTD team, who's put its heart and soul into this project, joined by our numerous consultants, designers, and our builders for this project, the FH Passion Ragnar Benson design build team. And we can't wait for construction to get underway. So thanks to all of you and to so many more. This is the start of something we've been talking about for many years, and it's moments away. And now I'd like to welcome my project partner, Bill Hanna, to come up here and say a few words. Bill?
What a great day. It is an honor and a privilege to represent the Northwest Indiana Regional Development Authority as we break ground on a project that a lot of people said could not be done. We have the RDA Board of Directors scattered throughout the crowd here safely today, so I appreciate them being here with us. Each one of them represents an entity that has been a major partner in the progress that we've seen in Northwest Indiana. Today we break ground on a project which I would argue represents the most significant investment we've made in ourselves in decades. This all comes from strong leadership from our governor and our partners, and it's important to know that they put people, jobs, and good government in front of politics. Our governor has shown all too rare leadership and took this vision and ran with it from day one of his administration. I remember when I was considering coming to the RDA back in 2009, a guy that I'd known now almost 20 years named Eric Holcomb was the one that called me and talked to me about it. When the RDA was created in 2005, he was there working with Governor Daniels to make it happen. In the first week of the new Holcomb administration, Congressman Visclosky and I went to visit the governor, from which a partnership was sealed that helped us arrive to where we are today. This is what it looks like when you reach for the next level instead of playing it safe. And this is what signals to investors that this is the place to be today and for the next 100 years. So just can't say thank you enough to all of our partners. Wonderful day. And I will now turn it over to NDOT Commissioner and NICTD Chairman, Mr. Joe McGuinness.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Mike, for having us up here today. And I think, Bill, I probably first met you about 4 years ago as I was learning about the South Shore Line and the West Lake and what all this was going to mean for Northwest Indiana. And so that relationship has continued to prosper, and I appreciate your partnership now that I'm involved with Mike and all of the great folks over at NICTD. And, you started off, really from day one. Governor Holcomb has made infrastructure a focus of his next level agenda for the entire state of Indiana. His approach to infrastructure has been to make investments to connect Indiana to the world and bring the world back to Indiana. This focus on connecting people and connecting markets is bolstering our pro-growth economy and making Indiana a prime location to grow a business and create jobs. In just over 3 years, Governor Holcomb has led historic investments in infrastructure of all types, including a fully funded 20-year, $60 billion, that's with a B, next level roads plan, which I'm very proud of, resulting in stronger, safer roads in every corner of Indiana. That plan includes unprecedented partnerships to improve local roads through community crossings, which we will announce here in the next few weeks, this round of grant winners, and local tracks, which many here in Northwest Indiana were the beneficiaries of the local tracks program over the last couple of years. A $600 million cash infusion that is delivering the final section of I-69 by the end of 2024, which is 3 years ahead of schedule, and zero debt financing for that project. A $100 million public-private partnership to bring affordable, reliable, high-speed internet to Indiana's rural areas, closing the digital divide. On top of that, a $60 million commitment specifically to help schools deliver virtual learning, which we all have learned has been so crucial during the COVID-19 challenge. The governor has also teamed up with federal partners to make more than $400 million in capital available to local communities for water and wastewater infrastructure improvement projects. And finally, this governor has delivered the largest investment in passenger rail in Indiana's history. The state is investing more than $250 million just in this Westlake extension of the South Shore service, and combined with funds dedicated to the South Shore double tracking project, we're committing nearly $500 million to South Shore and Northwest Indiana's economic growth and prosperity. With this unprecedented focus on infrastructure, it's easy to see why Indiana was recently ranked #1 in our infrastructure plan with our Roads and Bridge program by CNBC, and continues to be one of the top states for business ratings for 4 years running. Also, thank you to Secretary Challenger and the IEDC for their continued hard work in all of that. And now, at this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce one of the people most responsible for putting Indiana in the pole position when it comes to infrastructure, our 51st governor of the great state of Indiana, Eric Holcomb.
Well, thank you, Joe, and thank you, Bill, and Mike, and to so many others that had a hand in this. I think I look pretty happy in this picture, but today surpasses it for having arrived here. Just as we were talking about, as we were envisioning, we knew it would take some courage and some focus and teamwork, and those things all came together, community by community, stakeholder by stakeholder, and it's made possible this momentous milestone that we're all celebrating here today in the days ahead. We've never, as Hoosiers, shied away from doing big things, never shied away from making history. And that's exactly what we're doing here today as we make more historic progress and bring commuter rail through the heart of Lake County with stations in Munster and Hammond and Dyer, and connecting all three. When this is complete, this segment, it'll link the region to the third biggest economy in the nation. And that's going to rapidly accelerate Northwest Indiana's continuing forward momentum, making it an even more attractive place to live and to work and to grow your business, to grow your families, to play than it already is today. And completing this Lake Corridor is possible only because of what my three predecessors just shared, and that's partnership. From Gary, Mayor Prince, good to see you. From that local leadership to our legislative leaders in both the House and the Senate, Ed and Mara. Ed, thanks for your leadership on all things infrastructure, making sure that we were able to realize programs that give us certainty for decades to come, and also Mike and Ed and Rick and Frank, others who are not able to be with us today from our state house, past and present, Speaker Houston, Senator Bray, Senator Mishler, Doc Braun, Senator Talion. So many people came together and really said, we agree on this. This is going to really help the northwest quadrant of our state become, like I said, an even more attractive place to invest and grow. And I just, it shouldn't be lost that our partners in the Indiana General Assembly included that game-changing addition of $205 million for rail in the most recent budget, doubling the state's investment in Northwest Indiana Rail, bringing our state's total investment in the West Lake Corridor to nearly $300 million, and our total investment in Region Rail over $500 million, $565 million to be exact. Pair this partnership with all the others, our Indiana's congressional delegation, led by obviously the dean of them all, Congressman Pete Visclosky, who I remember, Bill, you mentioned a meeting we had very early on. I remember in 2004 when Congressman Visclosky came down to see one of my predecessors, then Governor Mitch Daniels. And he was passionate about realizing and arriving at this day, and really shared the blueprints on what not just could be, but what had to be for us to truly reach our potential. And so having that partnership with our delegation from the very early on, we're talking about not just years, but decades, that we've all been working towards this day. And our partnership with the federal administration, who is providing 38% of the funding for this project. And you add to that the Indiana Finance Authority and the Northwest Indiana Regional Development Authority, as was mentioned, the partners in Lake County and Porter County, all contributing substantial long-term commitments. And that really speaks volumes to having the local, the state, and the federal partnerships, that synergy all come together. It really shows the way. And it doesn't just show that it can be done, it shows how to get it done and how to get it done the right way. We've been able to, ever since we received that federal approval to advance, I guess that was in October, NICTD has been just working around the clock, and you have engineered this every step of the way and proved again that this vision wasn't just rhetoric, but it truly is a reality. And we're here to prove that just today. It's on track. This is one of those all aboard moments, not just for the region, but what it says to the rest of the state. This is truly an engine of our economy and a real model, and it's going to connect communities in Northwest Indiana like never before. This also is in line with our state's earned reputation, not just of being in the heart of the heartland, but for being the crossroads, the cross rails of America. So much commerce runs right through here. And being able to capture even more of that action, being able to attract even more talent, encouraging residents to come to not just this side of the border, but from wherever they're coming from. Joe, you mentioned bringing the world back to Indiana. That's exactly what this is going to help us do to grow from the, and it's a perfect complement from the Gary Chicago International Airport to the water port at Burns Harbor, all the people and products that run right by here. I think the only people more excited than the residents of this area about a day like today, and Joe, you're right up there too, is the Secretary of Commerce, Jim Schillinger. I mean, he's going to be able to sell this all over the world. And this is not just plans. These are paid for plans that are, you see the equipment right outside the tent. This is happening. And then you add not just our airports and our waterports and our rails and our roads program and our trails, how we're linking how we're connecting it every which way with one another and markets all over the place. These are the strategic investments that only come about because of responsible and focused leadership on all levels, both sides of the aisle. This is how it's supposed to work. And I can't tell you just how proud that makes me to be a part of that. And that proves not only that it can be done, but also this proves where we're going and where we're heading. I was glad that you mentioned that 20-year, $60 billion paid for, not debt finance roads and bridges program. It's because of those kind of efforts that may be tough discussions during one day to the next, but really prove out when you arrive at a day like today and we're celebrating one of two global transformational projects. I mean, when you talk about double tracking the South Shore line, Michigan City and Gary and Chicago and that link, and this complementary link as well, it just doesn't get any better than a day like today. And the reduced travel time for residents, attracting. Think about all the investments that we already know that's attracting. That we went over this bill, $2.3 billion in private investment to Northwest Indiana, the 1,000 construction jobs that are going to lead to more construction jobs. 6,000 projected to be, you shared 6,000 new careers that are ultimately going to be coming here. $3 billion and ultimately $3 billion in economic impact is projected to follow. So having, again, all the pieces, the congressional delegation, Senator Young, who was up here very early on saying this is a priority for us, Senator Braun, the rest of the congressional delegation, everyone stepped up at every turn to make sure every T was crossed and every I was dotted, and that we answered every single question, that whether it was a local or state or federal issue, it was not just addressed, it was answered. And so I'm just so thrilled to think about the future ahead and how we maximize this location and how we take advantage of this new mobility, how we turbocharge our economy, how we accelerate careers and attract more talent to our state. So thank you for all that collaboration. Thank you for all the partnership. That's the key word here, is partnership, partnership, partnership in the largest public transit investment in Indiana's history. And we're here to celebrate it today. It seems somewhat surreal, but Indiana, we earned it. And again, it is all aboard. The region is rolling. And now I mentioned a couple really key folks, just very briefly, because I knew we were going to hear from them. We're going to hear from them via video because of these times that we're in, as Mike said. We're going to hear from Congressman Visclosky. We're going to hear from Senator Todd Young, and we're going to hear from Senator Mike Braun, followed by two critically important individuals in this whole process as well, U.S. Secretary of Transportation Elaine Chao and Deputy Administrator of the Federal Transit Administration, Jane Williams. So if we can cue up those comments, we'll go to those now.
It is my pleasure to join with you today at the signing of the full funding grant agreement for the Westlake expansion of the South Shore Rail Line. I want to thank Secretary Chao and Governors Daniels, Pence, and Holcomb. I also am grateful to Senators Young and Braun, our state legislators, local leaders, and everyone at the RDA and NICTD for their perseverance and dedication for seeing this investment in the future of Northwest Indiana through to fruition. Further, I am forever thankful to Janet Moran for her foresight. Without her visionary action over 3 decades ago, we would not be here today. The extension and improvements to the South Shore are about the future, a future filled with a growing population, robust economic growth, plentiful, good-paying jobs that recognize the value of human labor, and a vastly enhanced quality of place. It is for those living today and for those yet to be born. It is therefore imperative that after today's well-earned celebration, we recognize that more work than has been done lies ahead, and we need to get about it with a sense of urgency and determination. First, we must secure a full funding grant agreement for the double track project as soon as possible. Second, we must ensure that the construction of the West Lake extension is well implemented, on time, and hopefully a bit under budget. Third, we must remember that the South Shore improvements are being undertaken to improve the quality of life for all. Every effort must be exerted to guarantee that our efforts inure to the benefit of every citizen of Northwest Indiana. We must make sure that all workers, including our teachers, firefighters, steelworkers, those who work in retail, as well as the most affluent, will be able to afford the housing and rental expenses in these newly developed areas a generation from now. Mixed communities are vibrant communities, not to mention a lot more fun to live in. They are essential to the strength of our region. Fourth, we must begin to plan and work toward the further expansion and enhancement of commuter rail service. Remember that there remains a great need for service to Lowell and a southeastern route from Gary to Valparaiso. But perhaps there are better options. Whichever is best, let us begin to prepare today so that tomorrow those who follow do not have to wait decades to make progress. Additionally, we must remember that when the RDA was created in 2005, one of its explicit goals was the creation of a regional bus system. While the RDA was essential to the achievement we celebrate today, the potential of utilizing a regional bus system with the South Shore network has yet to be realized. Finally, 4 towns and cities in Lake County still have not joined their neighbors in this wonderful bipartisan multi-government effort. It is not too late for them to help the greater community that they are a part of. Additional funds would allow us to reduce our debt sooner and accelerate new improvements for the benefit of everyone. This is an important moment in the history of Northwest Indiana. Let it not pass without a commitment to do more.
Hello, everyone. I want to thank you for being here today for the signing of the West Lake Corridor Project Final Funding Grant Agreement. Today's announcement is the culmination of hard work from many people to advance this critical infrastructure project. When I first ran for the Senate and began visiting Northwest Indiana more and more often, everyone said, you've got to help make the West Lake Corridor and the South Shore line happen. So we got to work with local, state, and federal partners. Governor Holcomb, Congressman Visclosky, and Commissioner McGuinness have all been tireless advocates for this project. And Secretary Chao saw the potential in person early in her tenure and has been a great partner in the Department of Transportation. So today, after years of hard work fighting for Hoosiers in Northwest Indiana, this has finally come to fruition. I'm extremely proud of what this commuter rail project will mean for Indiana, and I look forward to seeing this significant investment, job creation, and economic impact in the coming months.
The West Lake Corridor project is a culmination of years of work and planning between local, state, and federal stakeholders, represents a big win for Hoosiers in Northwest Indiana. In conjunction with the South Shore's double tracking project, this new rail line will encourage billions in private investment in the area, create thousands of great jobs for those in Lake County, from Hammond to Dyer, and create new opportunities for growth in Northwest Indiana by further expansion of opportunity for the citizens of the region. I'm confident that the team at North Indiana Commuter Transportation District, led by Mike Noland, the Regional Development Authority led by Bill Hanna, state legislators, and the countless private sector and third-party supporters will continue to provide all the necessary support moving forward as this project becomes a reality. I'd like to offer a special congratulations to Governor Holcomb for making this project a priority and dedicating the time, money, and human capital to get this done. It is a pleasure to work with Congressman Visclosky, Governor Holcomb, and everyone who has made this possible, and I look forward to the completion of this transformative addition to a vibrant corner of our great state.
Thanks for inviting me to join you to celebrate the signing. I'd like to especially thank Governor Holcomb, Senator Young and Senator Braun, and Congressman Visclosky. The department is proud to partner with them and with the members of your General Assembly, local officials, NICTD, the Northwest Indiana Regional Development Authority, and everyone who's been involved in this project. This new extension of the South Shore line will improve transportation accessibility and mobility for the community and open up the area to new economic development opportunities, all the while reducing travel time and costs. Overall, under this administration, Indiana has received over $5 billion in transportation funding. This project alone received $355 million in funding from the department's Federal Transit Administration. The Trump administration has also implemented a whole-of-government approach to help the country meet and overcome the challenges of COVID-19. Just at the U.S. Department of Transportation alone, we have provided Indiana over $343 million in CARES Act economic assistance funding. More than $73 million of this went to the Northern Indiana Commuter Transportation District. You know, it was such an honor to join the Vice President Mike Pence in April of this year at the Kokomo General Motors factory. The innovation and ingenuity of manufacturers switching from building cars to building life-saving ventilators was really inspiring to see. It was also so impressive to see Hoosiers responding to this public health emergency. This West Lake Corridor project demonstrates what happens when local, state, and federal entities work together to leverage each other's resources. So I want to thank once again Governor Holcomb for your great leadership on this project and your state. Congratulations again.
Good morning, and thank you, Governor Holcomb, for the invitation to join you at this historic celebration. But more importantly, thank you for the incredible amount of time and effort your team dedicated to this project in making this day possible. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize others who have been supportive of this project, including Lieutenant Governor Crouch, members of the Indiana Congressional Delegation, including Senator Young, Senator Braun, and Representative Visclosky, as well as members of the Indiana General Assembly and project partners, including Commissioner Joe McGuinness of the Indiana Department of Transportation, who also serves as the board chairman for the Northern Indiana Commuter Transportation District, or NICTD, Bill Hanna, president of the Regional Development Authority, and last but certainly not least, NICTD CEO Mike Noland. Thanks also to everyone else gathered today to celebrate the signing of the full funding grant agreement for the West Lake Corridor rail system. On behalf of Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao, I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today. So let me begin by recognizing the efforts of Governor Holcomb and CEO Mike Noland and the NICTD team for your dedication and resilience during this COVID-19 public health emergency. Your frontline transit workers continue to provide critical services to essential workers in healthcare, emergency response, and food service, jobs that have sustained all of us over these past few months, keeping America and Americans moving. On behalf of the Trump administration and the U.S. Department of Transportation, thank you. Today, I am happy to sign the $355 million capital investment grant for the West Lake Corridor project. This federal investment underscores the Trump administration's commitment to fund transit infrastructure, creating jobs that will support local economies. This grant agreement is one of 40 capital investment grant projects advanced under the Trump administration, representing $10.7 billion in investment in transit projects across America. The signing of this grant agreement would not be possible without our partnership with the Governor and State General Assembly last year and their work on not only this project, but also the NICTD Double Track Capital Investment Grant project that's soon to follow. Your work to restructure and streamline the NICTD board has been instrumental in moving both projects forward. The West Lake Corridor, an 8-mile extension of the South Shore Line, will greatly improve transportation options for Lake County residents and allow riders to reach jobs and opportunities between northern Indiana and downtown Chicago in less than 47 minutes, and provide a more efficient and affordable way to travel to the South Bend International Airport. The governor, along with the state and local officials, recognize the rail line's tremendous potential for job creation and value capture, approving transit development districts for the 4 new stations where businesses and neighborhoods are certain to grow. The Northwest Indiana Regional Development Authority estimates the districts will generate approximately $400 million in revenue over the next 2 decades, which will in turn be invested to stimulate development. And just this past June, FTA awarded a $1.2 million transit-oriented development planning grant to NICTD to support the planning that provides the basis for homes and communities around these new stations. In fact, I understand there's already a mixed-use development being built at Centennial Village, less than 2 miles from one of the stations. We look forward to continuing our partnership and seeing NICTD's continued progress on the new line. With that, I'm happy to officially sign the full funding grant agreement for the West Lake Corridor project. As you can see on the screen located behind me, we have gathered the FTA staff responsible for getting this $355 million grant agreement with NICTD across the finish line. I'd like to particularly thank our FTA Region 5 Administrator, Kelly Brookins, and her team in the Chicago Regional Office, as well as the Associate Administrator of Planning and the Environment, Felicia James, and FTA's Associate Administrator of Program Management, Bruce Robinson, and their teams. Thank you for your dedication and your diligence. We are proud to be your federal partner on the West Lake Corridor project. Thank you, Governor Holcomb, Lieutenant Governor Crouch, Senator Young, Senator Braun, Representative Visclosky, members of the Indiana General Assembly, Transportation Commissioner Joe McGuinness, RDA CEO Bill Hanna, and of course, NICTD CEO Mike Noland for your partnership and support on this project. And thank you for all that you are doing to keep America and Americans moving during these challenging times. Thank you.
News.